Does anyone feel ready to start chatting about their character? Yep, take it away. Tell us about Kim.
Um, oh gosh, there's one thing I wanted to nail down was like exactly when. Okay, um, Kim used to be a big star back in middle school, but had to quit in her freshman year because she had to because her mom got divorced and she had to start holding down part-time jobs. But now her mom has put her life back together, and Kim still has a part-time job because she's just kind of used to that after school. She doesn't like do that many clubs, but she rejoined the team because her old friend Tony, who she works with, is a member of the Kaguya High team, and he always tells her how much fun he's having, and she always wished that she could rejoin. So she's been out of the game, but she's back in the game now. And because she doesn't really feel like she belongs there as much as other people, she uses humor as a way of fitting in and joking about how she's not the best. Can we assign positions for ourselves? Because I want her to be a middle blocker.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh.
sure.
Yeah. So Kim's a middle blocker because she's really big and she doesn't feel like she wants the responsibility of being like a libero or a setter.
I like that. That's awesome. Yeah, cool. So we'll come back to our characters a bit later, but this is a useful overview. Does anyone else feel ready to talk a bit about their character?
Yeah, I think I could go.
Take it away.
Yeah, so what I have for Rajiv, so he's always loved Tani Anderson from the other school. They're like childhood friends, but the problem is she's the daughter of his father's rival. Um, so like I feel like Rajiv has this like generational kind of like pressure where his father like did really really well and then had an injury and didn't make it, and so there's a lot of pressure on Rajiv to make it, and his father blames the injury on Tani's father. So like it's kind of like playing out again, except Rajiv can't help the way he feels about Tani. And it doesn't help that Rajiv is only still playing because of his father and that pressure. Like Rajiv would be happier if he wasn't playing anymore. So that's why he has fading passion. So I think part of the story is like, can he rekindle that passion? Can he find it again for himself outside of his father's shadow?
Can we give your father a name? What's your father's name?
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, I saw one that I liked. Could we call him? Yeah, Rohan.
Rohan. Cool.
Yeah, because it means ascending. So like, I feel like there's this pressure.
And what's he like? Tell us a little bit more about him as a person.
I think my father he's kind of distant. Like, he's never had an easy time. I think Rajiv's father does love Rajiv, but the father's just not very good at, like, he says the worst thing possible when he's trying to comfort or trying to support his son. It comes out. I think it's also because he comes from that kind of Asian background where you don't really know how to express your feelings, especially like as a male Asian person. But I think he has a soft side to him that his son doesn't see. Like his son doesn't want to believe is there.
I like that. That's nice. That's really cool. Awesome. Sarah or Jim, do you feel ready to tell us a little about your character?
Yeah, I can tell you about Diego Alvarez here.
Cool.
Diego Alvarez, he is one red card away. To play your best, you've got to give it everything. Why do people keep getting in the way? I don't know. Why do they keep getting in the way? It annoys the heck out of me. I am not the best player on the team by any stretch of the imagination. But I really enjoy the game, and I am just like, I just trash talk all of our opponents, like, and to the point where, like I said, like I get in trouble like for my mouth, right? And like I said, like we had someone come under the net and tackle me the last time we faced this team, and we both got eliminated from the like pitched out of the game or something like that. And so I just really like sassing our opponents, and probably razzing my teammates a little bit too. I would imagine that kind of comes with that. It's hard work having so many admirers. My signature look, I have decided to call this is just got done at the gym on my way to dinner. Is like at school, like walking around school, my hair is always up. It always looks like I just dried it, right? Like I've got like a man bun that has like one little lock that falls out of it like fetchingly across my cheek, and I've got like a decent, like a button down shirt, nice slacks, good shoes, and a jacket. Right, like that half the time I'm walking around, it's like slung over my shoulder, like hooked on a finger. I'm not actually wearing it, like I'm like headed to a photo shoot somewhere, right? And the final thing is that I am keeping secret from my parents the fact that I don't want to become a doctor like my dad and go work in his practice. I really want to be a singer in a rock band. And like my mom would, like, that would kill my mother if she found out. Like, not literally kill her, but she would kill me. And so I like have to keep it totally on the DL, my aspirations for cutting an album. Like, they can never find out that I'm even like that I'm contemplating such a thing. So
That's really cool. Previously, when that trait's been used, it's always been related to playing the sport. But I love it being related to something else.
Oh my gosh!
So hopefully we can find a way to bring that into the session, given that we only have the one.
And in fact, volleyball is one of the things that I use
as an alibi.
Well, yeah. Like, we have to practice 7 days a week.
That's great.
Even though maybe we're actually only practicing 5, right? So yeah. So like we'll be in the middle of a song and I'll say like, oh shit, I gotta go to, and then like I run into the bathroom and I like wet my hair down, like it's and like hand my guitar off to my friends and go, I gotta go drive home. So
that's great. I love it. Nadine.
Yes, she is the team captain, but it's kind of new. I think she took over from her older sister, I guess. Maybe like barely older. Like they probably should have been in separate years, but it didn't quite work out that way. She left to like a semester abroad or something before university, and I had to take over. And I just really want this to work and like to not disappoint her, but I feel like I have to live up to her, like the precedent that she set. I think she was a lot more easygoing and gregarious, but like still took the sport seriously. And she was just generally like a better people person and captain than I am. So I am compensating for it in other ways, like being very serious all the time. But it's my last year, and I think I've gotten into like a school that for a major that my parents really want me to do, like engineering. but I really want to be like a museum curator and just like repair pots all day and stuff like something like super specific and minute that I can just focus on. So I know that's coming and I don't like it.
So tell us about Stone Cold. What was your answer there?
So I think sophomore year, so fairly early on, back when we were still losing abysmally. After one game, I just like took it really hard and like started crying in the locker room, and like my sister came in and saw me and hasn't let me forget it in what she thinks is a good-natured way or what she says is a good-natured way. She always says she's joking, but I know she just means it every time she brings it up and makes fun of me for it.
What's your sister's name?
That is a good question. Tiana.
Tiana. Awesome. Cool. All right. So the next thing we need to do is relationships. But we will wait for Jim to do that. But you can start thinking about them. So the way that these work is obviously the first column is for the name, the second column is a drop down of relationship options to choose from, and the last column is for your drive, which is basically what you want to do in relation to them. That was a bad way to describe it, but if you go across to the relationships tab, you will see there is some set ones for each relationship. So if you have a particular relationship, you can pick one of those, or if you have a really strong idea that's outside of that, you can sort of make your own as well. So we were just saying we're going to move on to relationships now, and I'll just re-explain what I was going to say, which was that, so the first column is for their name, second column is a drop down for the type of relationship, and then the third column is for your drive towards them. And if you go to the relationships tab, you'll see some set ones for each relationship, but you can also make up your own if you have a strong idea. So everyone will need to have a relationship towards each of the other player characters is what I'm looking for. Each of the other player characters, and then of course any non-player characters that you have relationships with as well. You can put them there. We can make more rows. We can make more rows if we need more rows. If people have more than fits there. But yeah, so I think the best thing to do is to maybe let's go person by person and see how they feel about the other characters on the team, and then sorry.
Before we get started, do you mind just like freezing enough rows that we can actually see the names up top while we're down in the bottom? Because when we scroll down, we can't see our names anymore, and that'll make it a lot easier to remember who's who.
Yes, I'm very good at this on Excel, but I do not know where it is in Google Sheets.
If you
freeze up to cover. There we go.
On line 5 in view.
Nope, that didn't work.
Yeah. I just did it.
Okay.
That should have.
Cool. Nice.
Is that okay?
Yeah. Cool. I may unfreeze them later so we can see more, but they're good for the relationship bit, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So yes, we'll just go through and talk through everyone's relationships, and let's just go along the character keeper. So let's start with Diego. Actually, last time we did this in a more freeform way, and it kind of worked well, so maybe we'll just do it in a free-form way, whereby have a think about what your relationships to the other players' characters are, and when you have an idea, just shout it out and chat it through, and we can kind of talk about it.
I'm glad you said that. I wasn't sure if you meant the other players or other characters that we'd already established relationships with through our, what do you call it? Through our traits.
Yeah, your questions. Well, you definitely want to put those non-player characters on there as well, but
Okay.
you need to also form a relationship with each other person
Great.
on your team.
Yeah, actually, I was wondering if Kirk would be cool with it because, like Kirk, how seriously does Kim take the whole volleyball thing, or is she kind of like laid back about it?
She plays it like she's laid back, but she actually takes it pretty seriously because it was something that she wished she could have done when she was younger, and now has the chance to do. But she feels self-conscious about how she's not as good as everybody else who stayed in the game.
Yeah, and I kind of like how that's kind of the opposite.
Yeah.
Of Rajiv. So I'm thinking Rajiv is going to be a high school student and like misread how he feels about Kim. Like, so like, I think like Rajiv is going to be displacing or projecting some of the pressure he feels onto Kim. So the last row is kind of like what we want, like what our drive is for the relationship, or
Yeah. So in the example you use, it's things like prove you're better, tell them how you feel, help them reach their dreams, that kind of thing.
Okay. So I'll go ahead. It's Yeon Jin, right? Like just double checking. Okay, I think. Yeah, I think it's gonna be like shape up Kim or something like that. Like I'm going to.
Sure.
I think like, oh, I'm gonna have to tell you how to do better. Like I'm taking it personally.
Nice.
And that gave me the idea to go back in the direction of having Kim idolize Rajiv.
Oh no!
Because Rajiv is like this legacy pro and has been in the game and is at the top of their form and and this is like everything that Kim didn't have the chance to be and wishes that she could have been.
Right. Because Rajiv was forced to like stay the whole time and like. Yeah. Cool.
Oh man, I've got a bad idea for filling out the relationship with Nadine. I already introduced the idea that my mom got remarried. How about we're siblings?
Oh no. Sure.
That's awesome.
Like
How recently
brand new
did this happen,
siblings?
do you think?
This happened like a year ago. Yeah, a year ago.
Ooh. Just enough time for it.
Like right before our older sister.
Yeah, our older sister.
Left. Oh, are you the person then who disagrees with my appointment to captain?
No, I just think it's great that I've got this in with the team.
Maybe you're the one, like maybe Kim is the one who's oblivious as to why other people would disagree with this appointment, or like.
No, Nadine seems great. She's a great captain.
Yeah.
Also, I wasn't here for the previous captain, so Nadine seems great.
So for that third column, pick something that you want towards them. So for example,
Gotcha.
Help them reach their best, be part of their life, find out if they've changed.
Okay.
There are some suggestions in the relationships tab if that's helpful.
I get it now. Thanks.
Remind them of their responsibilities is great.
Mm.
I'm gonna be the best older sister you've ever had.
Oh. Also never had an older sister.
I think I want to idolize Nadine because I have never seen her lose her cool. Even
Well, you weren't there in sophomore year.
even a couple of years ago, like when we got creamed. Oh, I was there for sophomore year. But like kind of, you said you cried in the locker room, right? Yeah, but I didn't see you crying in the locker room. I saw you like holding it together, and you just went into the locker room. When you came back out, you were cool as a cucumber, and like I've never like somehow, no matter how bad things get, she's like always just like holding it together, and there's no, yeah. So I think that's what I'm gonna idolize Nadine. Nadine. And let me see. What are some of these things for idolize? Understand their motivations. That's what I'm going to do. I want to understand her motivations. All right. Oh, Jamie. Okay, yeah, she's trying to. They're trying to log back on so that they can fix their picture and stuff.
I think I might put Diego down as a rival just because I like the learn to work with them thing. I don't know if it's quite like an adversarial relationship, but like I feel like I don't have control of you.
Yes, yeah. I feel
like that.
Certainly he would be an exasperating teammate, I feel, if you are trying to hold discipline together. Kirk, would you how do you feel about Kim and Diego being former friends?
I kind of like that. I was going in the rivals direction, but former friends can work. Like, was Diego on Kim's old team?
I don't know. Maybe so. What is Kim's backstory again?
Kim's backstory is that she. I'm getting feedback. Sorry, a little distracting. Kim's backstory was that she used to play volleyball in middle school, and then her mom got divorced, and Kim had to work multiple part-time jobs and couldn't do intramural sports anymore. But now her mom is remarried, and she's got this in on the sports team through Nadine, and she finally gets to play volleyball like she always wanted to.
Oh, so like we played volleyball together in middle school?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So if we were
I think
former
that's
friends,
great. Yeah. If we were like like thick as thieves on that volleyball team.
Mhm.
But then like I could totally see like a shitty like preteen thing to do. Like the second you weren't on the team anymore, I wouldn't give you the time of day.
Yeah, we
It's
weren't
like
friends anymore. All my friends
yeah.
were gone.
Yes, yeah, like a total douchebag thing to do. So, all right.
It's not even that douchebaggy thing. Like they're in a middle school. Like the whole group doesn't talk to me anymore,
Yeah,
and you can't go
okay.
against the group. And it's not the best thing to do, but you can't really like blame a 13-year-old for doing it.
Yeah. I like convince them to forgive you, I think is the
Nice.
Oh, that's good.
convince Kim to forgive me.
Is it okay if I have a in unequal relationship with you?
Oh yeah, absolutely, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, no, if I think of you like I totally think that's fine. I think of you like principally in my mind, the fact that we used to be friends and are not anymore is the most important thing about my relationship with you. Yours
Okay.
can be totally different with me. There's a lot of that, like, oh my god, there are like there is someone who treated you terribly who like just has no conception that they treated you terribly and like doesn't even realize they treated you terribly. But there's also the someone who thinks they treated you terribly, but you're like, yeah, whatever, this was just a thing.
Yeah, that's how I was thinking of it. I was
Yeah,
thinking
yeah. Like
Kim didn't
I'm all
particularly feel
super
bad about
worried
it.
and self-conscious about it, but you're like, yeah, whatever.
Or Kim felt personally responsible for losing her friends because she couldn't be on the team anymore and she let them down.
Yes. Jamie, how do you feel about Diego and Rajiv being best friends? Like eating lunch together every day and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry, I was on mute. Us being best friends?
Or did you have
Is that
something
right?
else in mind? Yeah.
Yeah. I think I like that idea because I think I'm jealous of the fact that you can let off steam. Like, and I really admire that about you.
All
So
right.
I'm gonna put us best friends.
And
Yeah, and my goal for you is I want to convince you to go for your dreams to be the. Oh, but do I know about you and the whole music thing? Or
oh, you totally do. Yeah, you're
Okay.
one of the people that does. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm trying to
Nice.
convince you to like go for it. Like volleyball
Yeah.
is not everything.
Yeah, and I am trying to help you through a hard time. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
It kind of
Like,
sucks for you right now. Yeah. So
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I think you're the only one who knows about how I feel about Tani also.
Oh yes, yeah, for sure.
Nice.
Oh, and for my I guess Haley, the other thing I should mention to you for my high school heartthrob thing is who did I recently promise to take on a date? And I thought that's Amy, who looks more like like she's maybe like our team manager than actually
Yeah.
like she's the one that like keeps the stats for us and all this kind of stuff and everything. And so okay, yeah, she's kind of the egghead. Who wishes she could play volleyball, but yeah, okay. Yeah, so I promised to take her on a date. And do we want to fill each of those, or are we good once we got each of the player characters settled?
So if there's a non-player character like you feel you have a strong relationship with, you can pop them in there. But if not, you can leave blank. That's totally fine too.
Okay, yeah, I already did.
Oh yeah, actually, I wanted to ask Sarah about Nadine. I was wondering if we could be like former friends.
That works. I was thinking of maybe rivals. That seems to overlap some. What's in your mind?
Oh yeah, because like I was thinking like maybe we used to be close, and then when you became captain, like my dad took it against me, even though I didn't want to be captain. And then so like it just caused this like awkward like rift, and so we no longer talk to each other as much anymore. And I guess it makes sense like maybe like from your end, it became more of a rival situation.
Could that
Yeah,
have
'cause,
been a
like,
thing where like your dad actually talked to the coach about it?
Yeah, it would have been so embarrassing. Yeah, it's an Asian dad thing to do for sure. Oh
and
my
from
god.
my side, it feels like you don't have to prove yourself because you have like this legacy kind of built up already.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Cool, cool.
Neat. So I think that means everyone has got relationships with every other player character, which means we did character creation. Yay! So,
Oh,
oh,
I didn't
yes.
do one with Diego yet. And I
Oh, yeah.
just wanted
Sorry,
to
I missed
clear it
that.
with the unevenness. I wanted to see Diego as a rival. One of my part-time job thing says I'm working at Café de Amor, and I picked to be working there with Tona from the other team. I want Café de Amor to be a butler cafe.
Okay.
So Kim has a rivalry with Diego because Diego looks really cool at the time, and Kim has a professional rivalry from her time as a butler at the Butler Cafe.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's like an off the court. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody pays attention to Diego, and he doesn't even try.
Hmm.
Yeah. And meanwhile, you're over here like busting your ass to
Yeah.
look cool
I'm a
and stuff.
professional,
Yeah.
cool person. Thank you. I should
Exactly.
get the same
Yes.
recognition Diego
Yeah.
gets.
I think that's totally fantastic. Totally fantastic. And to underline it, I'm gonna put as a rival Clive there.
That makes sense.
Clive Borelli. And under rivals, one of the relationships is get in their way however you can. So I'm gonna choose that as my
Neat.
yeah. I'm gonna get in Clive's way however I can.
All right. So, oh, I love that you chose Get Over My Feelings for Tani. That's great. Ouch. Cool. All right. So
Yeah, it's not
we're
gonna
gonna
work,
take
but that's the goal.
we're gonna take a 10-minute break at this point. So let's take a break till 35 past. And then we'll come back and we'll do the
Fantastic.
rules and jump into play. See you then.
Sounds good.
Party so what I'm going to do now is explain how the game works, and then explain the structure basically of what the session is going to be today. We have we've created a lot of awesome stuff. Unfortunately, because it's a one shot, we won't have time to delve into everything, but I'm hoping we get to touch on most of the stuff that we talked about. So this game has really two very distinct parts. It has match bits and non-match bits. Outside of matches, this game is really player driven. So it's all about kind of the scenes you want to see, the conversations that you want to have. And obviously, I'll be there to play non-player characters and stuff like that. Mechanically, the main things you have outside of matches, as I mentioned, is your traits, which you can also use to generate spirit. And they also have a flip condition, which takes them from the A side to the B side. If you flip your card, normally you get experience, but since this is a one shot, you can get I'll give you a spirit instead when you flip it over. Spirit, as I mentioned, useful for matches. So when you want to use the spirit move on your trait, or when you want to flip it, just let us know. So kind of be like, I'm using this thing, so that we can see what's happening. The only other rule outside of matches is if you scroll right over to the extreme right side of the characters tab, you'll see something called Dig Deeper. And this is how you get things to go your way outside of a match. So when you want something to go your way, you say what you want, and then you ask myself or another player, if it concerns their character, what you can do to, what your character can do to dig deeper to get things to go your way. I might put that in there. So, for example, what could I do to convince the principal that we should be allowed to take the bus? That's a really bad example, but you get the idea. And then I, as GM playing the principal, would be like, well, the principal really cares about the school's reputation. So if you promise him that there'll be no mishaps, you know, whatever. So essentially, that's how it works. When you want something, you ask what you have to do in order to get it. The other person will tell you, or if it's something that they're not interested in, they can also say, no, that's not going to happen. And then you have the choice of whether you want to do it or you want to sort of leave it and we go on. So outside of matches, that's all the mechanics of this game. Matches are a whole thing. When we get to the start of the match, I will explain how they work. But they are very structured as opposed to the rest of the game, which is sort of more freeform. Does that make sense so far? Yep, cool. So in terms of what we are going to do in the session today. So this is the final arc of this series, right? This series has been going on a long time, obviously. You guys have already won 3 matches, and we're here in the final arc. So the first thing that we are going to do is flash back to scenes that have happened previously in the series. And it'd be good to center these around one of your traits. So pick a moment that you discussed during character creation that you want to show us, and then we'll get you to narrate a flashback to that moment previously in the series. After that, we are going to have the opening credits of the series. And then we are going to center our episode today around the big match. So we'll have a little bit of time beforehand to have some scenes. We'll go into the match, have scenes during that, and then wrap up at the end of the match. So let's start with our pre-credit flashbacks. So you know how when you watch a later episode in an anime or TV series, they always flash back to important things that have happened earlier. That's what these are. And they're like vignettes. Previously on, exactly. So when you're ready with your previously on, shout out and let us know what we see.
Okay, I got one. And that is Diego, like after a match, it's Diego, and he's kind of doing one of these, you know, like hand, like fist on his hip, like, you know, kind of looking embarrassed, hand behind his head, like that, you know, that pose, that like I'm embarrassed pose. The manager is chewing him out. What is her name?
Amy?
Amy, yeah. So like Amy is chewing me out, like, you know, you almost cost us the match, and you've got to, what have I, you know, I've told you, you know, that smart mouth of yours is going to get us in trouble, and, you know, and she's like yelling at me like Amy does, like this is incredibly obvious, and anybody who doesn't know this is like she is unafraid to treat me like I'm an idiot, right? And she's just chewing me out, and I'm like looking embarrassed, and she goes, I don't know why I even put up with you. And I say, well, I don't know. How about, like, I feel bad. How about if I go to that honor society thing with you? Because she needs a date to some like hoity-toity like academic awards ceremony she's going to, right? And like that's the like brings her up short, her cheeks flush. She puts her her clipboard up in front of her face, and like mumbles, I don't know, I'll have to get back to you, and then like heads off, and I'm just there like, what was that all about? Like shrugging. All I did was offer to, go to this dinner with her, and that's my little flashback there.
Awesome. Who else is ready when they're previously on?
All right, I've got one. The scene is at a private karaoke room, and Kim and Nadine are singing a duet while Tona and Dana are watching, and Kim and Tona are both in their work outfits, so they're still both dressed as butlers. So there's a hilarious misunderstanding that Kim and Nadine are dating, so that Tona could go on a date with Dana and not feel uncomfortable about it.
Oh, that's good. Who's next?
And we get like some line about dating somebody, and then we cut to a wedding, which is the wedding of whichever parent you've got. Yeah,
So
they
it
get
was
married.
my mom, but by all means, make it your mom too, if that's where you're going with this.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Our moms are getting married. It's like on the beach, They've got like one of those. They probably have made it themselves, one of those like altar things with the flowers and like vines wrapped around it and like cacti and stuff. And we see we're all bridesmaids. You, me, our older sister, whose name is
Tiana?
Tiana, yeah. And then it cuts to like one of the back like prep rooms where Tiana and I are kind of like going at it, and it's very reminiscent of like the locker room scene that everyone of course remembers.
Nice.
And I
And
don't
what do we
think
see? Oh, sorry.
we've missed like Tiana hasn't been in the whole last season. She maybe had some cameos, not the early ones, but it's been a while.
Cool. So the audience is like, oh, they're showing her now. And what do we see of Rajiv?
So for Rajiv, I think it's like at the practice match with the other team, and I think there was a moment where Rajiv had to choose between being kind to his childhood friend, to Tani, but also like doing well for the team and like his father's like watching from the sidelines, even if it's just a practice match. His dad's there because Tani's there, and then there's I think like there's this moment where Rajiv is like, he knows that he's pushing himself hard, like it's all this like inner monologue kind of stuff. And now he's at this point where he's like, even if I don't have that fire anymore, even if I don't have that passion, I just have to fake it until the end of the year, and I'm going to be free of all of this.
Nice. That's so good. So with that last previously on, we transition into our opening credits. So the sun is high in the sky, in the blue sky, over Waitara High School, and we get this big expansive shot of the high school. And then suddenly the sun is falling and we are inside and it turns into a volleyball. And what I'm going to see from everybody is we're going to see two things. So the first thing I want to see is a cool volleyball moment that your character does. And I'd love to see what they look like when they're like in the zone, in the sport zone. And the second thing we're going to see is something from their everyday life. So the volleyball like falls down onto the other side of the net, and the first thing we see is like the Cayuga team, almost like moving as one unit. And this is like reused footage from the practice match. I think, like, you know, Dana hits the ball up into the air, Tona is the setter, and then like Tani spikes it down with a powerful blow onto the other side of the net. And we cut to Nadine. What do we see of Nadine? Cool spot moment.
It's like slightly different light, you know, so you know it's a different match or different, like, the end. And you just see her just like do that little like, jump thing. I forget if you're supposed to keep one foot on the ground or something. But yeah, just like serving it, like probably a little bit too hard.
Awesome. So we see Nadine serve like spin across the net. Yeah, we will come back to positions. That's a good point. Yeah, we see Nadine serve, spin across the net, and kind of like slide over the top and like bounce into the bottom of the court right next to the line. And as it does, the court sort of like spins around. It starts spinning. And when it stops, we are now focusing on Kim. What do we see of Kim?
The shot starts with the Kaguya team doing some excellent teamwork, and Tona goes up for the spike, and Kim gets right in Tona's way and takes it directly in the face, but blocks it successfully and falls on her ass in the meantime. And she turns to the camera with her face scuffed and a big smile on her face, like she did the best job.
Nice. So she smiles at this. She smiles with a big smile, and like we kind of like see it pan up to the tips of her fingers, like reaching over the net, and then we get like a below perspective shot of those big fingers, and then the camera cuts to Rajiv.
Yeah, I was wondering if it's not too forward to claim setter, because I was like rewatching the video and I think it would sort of make sense for the character if everyone's okay with it though. Yeah, so like I'm thinking Rajiv does this like this anime calculation thing, like going with the flow of like reading ahead of time and seeing the opposing team as like this this wave that's coming, and Rajiv is like, no, the wall is going to be here, and then sets everything in position to read the calculations.
Yeah, nice. And like we see the ball come over the net, and you know, we follow Rajiv's gaze at the ball, and then we get the spinning shot again around the other side of the ball, and we see Diego.
And it's like it comes down and there's a multi-panel thing, like a Cowboy Bebop opening thing, right? With like, you know, like, but it is like the panels are very clearly like an overhead view of a volleyball net, right? Like they're like laid out that way. And, you know, like one's got him like with his jacket over his shoulder, and another one's got him just like shrugging like this. And another one has him spinning the volleyball on his finger like it's a basketball, right? And another one has him just pointing and laughing. and in that bottom panel where he's pointing and laughing, someone just tackles, like there's a whoosh of motion as someone just tackles him out of the panel.
That's awesome. And so I think with that, with Diego being tackled by Clive out of the panel, like it just leaves this empty shot of like an empty gym. And from there we cut to our daily life scenes. So what do we see of Nadine in a flash of daily life?
I think like sticking your face into like a sink full of water and then just like bringing it up and just like all the water just like flowing off and like her hair is like super wet and she like flings it. We get like this almost slow-mo thing of like the water flung against like some lockers nearby.
Well, it's so good. It cuts to Kim. What do we see of Kim's daily life?
Kim and Tona are both doing a synchronized dance at work as we approach a table, and sitting at the table is Diego, looking entirely unimpressed with our shenanigans.
That's good. And it cuts to Rajiv.
Yeah, and I think Rajiv is actually waiting outside the Cayuga High School. Like Rajiv is telling himself, I'm just gonna see her. If I see her, like it'll help these feelings fade. But then it's the opposite. Like she shows up and it's like flowers everywhere. It's slow motion. And then Rajiv just sort of like blushes, like really like, but his face is so stoic. And then he just really like super awkwardly turns around and like walks back really stiff-legged back to school.
That's so good. And Diego.
Yeah, close up of like bottom of my nose, lips, like like jawline with a straw going into his mouth, and you can see the tapioca from the bubble tea like shooting up through the straw, and kind of pulls back as I turn the corner and like push open the door to the lunchroom and go and like just like flop down into a chair next to Rajiv, and I've got a second bubble tea in my hand and I just set that down in front of him.
Nice. And the camera zooms in and follows this the pearls going up the straw of the bubble tea, and then of course the pearls turn into a volleyball, and it's just like that quick succession of when like that thing where they at the start of before they do the match where they like serve to each person and they take turns spiking it to warm up. So we get like everybody in the team in quick succession, and then the last ball like goes flying off into the sort of like stands area, and like we zoom in on the stands, and our title is written on there, One Last Chance. Today's episode. So that's the start of our episode. So this so I'm gonna frame a couple of scenes and then I'll open up to you guys to tell me what you want to see. But this is the day of the finals match. This is the day that Waitara High faces up against Kaguya, and if you take them down, then Waitara volleyball team will make it to the nationals for the first time ever. And so we are going to start this episode in the morning of the match in the household of Kim and Nadine in the kitchen. What is it like in the kitchen in the morning in this house? I'm going to pick on you, Kirk. What's the vibe in the morning here?
Because it's something that I used to do for my mom while she was still single, I do all the cooking, and I still cook a little bit at work too. So the vibe is a morning person dealing with a bunch of people that probably aren't morning people. So I've got the eggs going, and I've got the coffee going, and the toast pops up. Close up on the toaster, pop. It's a 4-slice toaster because everybody gets one piece of toast.
Yeah, and your mom is like grabbing a toast with one hand and eating it as she's like also putting on her makeup with the other hand to go to work. And she's like, "Oh, Kim, it's the big game today, isn't it?"
You know it. You're taking a half day to see us, right?
"Oh yeah, of course I am." And then like we see her like quickly flip over her phone and like text her boss something. Are you ready?
Oh, as ready as I've ever been, which is to say, I am not ready at all.
Your mom laughs and like puts her hand out to like on your shoulder, but she's still got the toast in it, so it's a bit awkward. And she's like, "I believe in you, Kim. You're gonna be great. It's so nice to see you playing again with your friends."
I'm just glad Nadine could get me on the team.
And in that moment, I think Nadine enters the kitchen. What's Nadine like?
Yeah, coming down the stairs, and like I catch that last line, and I like kind of point like across the kitchen at you, and like keep pointing as I come around and like grab one piece of the toast. You're gonna earn it. You better.
Yes, Captain, my captain.
She gives you a look like, "Don't call me that." But she doesn't say anything.
And Kim's mom is like, "Oh, Nadine, doesn't Kim make the best eggs?"
Look, we don't really have time to eat like a whole breakfast. Kim, we
I
have to
already
go
put it in
home.
a to-go bag, and she pours the coffee into a thermos for her. And the thermos says Nadine and has a little heart on it.
Okay, well, good. Let's go then.
And I think we cut from this scene to the outside of a car driving along the highway on the way to the stadium. And then we go inside the car. And it is Rajiv's father, whose name is Rohan, driving Rajiv and also Diego, because they're best friends, right, to the stadium.
Yeah, I want to be super clear about the fact that Rajiv's father's name is Mr. Patel.
Right.
And my
Yes.
dad's name is Dr. Alvarez.
So Mr. Patel is driving the car, and like I think there's like kind of a bit of an oppressive silence for a little bit. And then he turns to Rajiv and says, "Is everyone ready?"
Yeah. Dad, we talked about this. Like, we're ready.
You know you have to do your best today.
I know, Dad. I know. You've told me a lot of times. And then I'm sort of like I'm trying to look at my dad through like the mirror, and I'm trying to like communicate with my eyes. Can we not have this conversation in front of my friend?
And then he takes it the wrong way and is like, "You too, Diego."
You can count on me, Mr. Patel. I won't let Rajiv down.
Mr. Patel is very satisfied with this answer.
I know how important this is to him. He's told me so many times.
Yeah, and then I also look through the mirror again, and I'm like, don't continue the conversation.
That's right. And has Nadine, that's the girl who ended up being the captain, isn't it? And he shakes his head. Has she told you the strategy? Has she told you the plan?
Has she? Like, I'm trying to think. Like, would Nadine be the type
Definitely.
to do something like that? Yeah. To like make
She
sure
had it planned
everything
out
is...
months in advance.
Yeah. I think what happens is I think about like, yeah, you know, we have this plan and we keep going over it, but my father misreads my expression again, and he assumes it means like I'm not happy with the plan. Like I know what the plan is, but I don't think it's a good one, even though that's not what I'm communicating.
And I say, Mr. Patel, you should see it. She's got us running drills 7 nights a week, and I kind of tap my my heel against Rajiv's heel.
Yeah, 7 nights, and I was like, damn, I haven't been going out like
7
nights.
7 nights. You're gonna get overtired. does this girl not understand anything? No matter what you said, that would have been his reaction.
Right. And I just get I think like in that moment I sort of flashback to a time when Nadine looked really pressured and looked really stressed, and like I wanted to reach out and talk to her and tell her it was going to be okay, but I chickened out at the last minute, and then I just sort of exploded my dad in that moment. And I'm like, look, she's a good captain, all right? Just lay off. Like it's gonna go great.
All right. I'll be in the stands watching as he starts pulling into the arena car park area.
You've got nothing to worry about, Mr. Patel. I have never seen, I've never played with anyone who holds it together as well as Nadine does.
We'll see. And then we cut immediately to him dropping Diego and Rajiv off and sort of driving around to the parking area. And the stadium, it's big, it's gleaming, it's a lot nicer than the stadiums you played in so far. They've actually let you play in a proper arena. It's arena, not a stadium, isn't it? A volleyball arena. I'm not really sure what the word is. But yeah, they've actually let you play in a proper arena that's used for pro games usually. So it's a much nicer area, and you can kind of see people already going in and out. It looks like a local TV station is even setting up in there. What's the conversation between Diego and Rajiv as you're walking into the locker room?
I'm saying, look, man, we've talked about this. Don't let him get into your head. Just focus on the game. Don't pay any attention to anybody who's in the stands, and just treat it like another game. I mean, I know I'm gonna.
Yeah, then Rajiv is nodding, but it's he's just imagining the worst case scenario, and he's like, but what if we don't make it? What if we don't win? I don't know if I have what it takes.
Look, I hate to be the one to tell this to you, man, but even if you did the same thing he did, 3 gold medals, he would tell you that it didn't count because they have the Olympics every 2 years now instead of every 4.
Yeah. I know you're right. I just wish I didn't have to. I just wish I didn't have to be here.
Well, you are, and look, win or lose, we'll go out for sushi afterwards.
You don't even really know how to eat sushi properly, though.
You can teach me.
I think we cut away from that there. So, what scenes do people want to see before the match starts? Open slather.
I want to have a locker room scene where I bought everyone a new set of matching sweatbands in honor of the big game.
Excellent. Let's cut into that. So everyone has gathered. Everyone's starting to sort of get ready. Everyone's a bit jumpy, a bit nervous. And then Kim, it's your moment.
What are our team colors? Did we decide on this?
It's silver with blue highlights.
Great. Okay. So Kim shows up pre-dressed as opposed to all the other times when Kim has to get dressed from work. Kim shows up pre-dressed for a change, and Kim is laden down with a giant backpack full of boxes and hands one out to everyone and says, "All right, everybody, gather around. It's story time with little sister Kim now." So back in high school, and Diego, I know you remember this. When we got to the finals, my dad bought new sweatbands for everyone. And when I was a kid, having a new sweatband like that felt like the most special thing. I just had this old hand-me-down, and having new stuff made me feel like I was a real athlete. And I know you guys probably already feel like you're real athletes, especially you, Rajiv. There's no one doubting you there. But this ties us all together. This is what I was as a kid, and this is who I'm happy I am now. So would you do me the honor of everyone wearing the sweatbands for our game tonight?
I want to see a quick cut of everyone's reaction. So let's start with Rajiv. What's Rajiv's reaction?
I think Rajiv is like abnormally tall for his age and for sweatpants, and so he looks a little like he knows it's probably not going to fit, and then he sees like Kim's like super earnest, like this is our friendship in these pants kind of face.
Oh no, bands like
Oh yeah,
like the stuff you put in
bands.
your forehead
Oh,
and
I
your
heard
wrists and stuff.
sweatpants. Okay,
I'm
we
sorry,
can do
no,
sweat-
that's
we
weird.
can do sweatpants. Yeah, and then so like he takes the sweatband and he's like, this looks like he's just mumbling under his breath, like this looks ridiculous, and he's like so blushing again, just like.
Nice. What's Nadine's reaction?
I think she was watching like an old video that her mom had taken of her sister, like the last game that they won, and like studying her technique. And she looks up and like doesn't turn it off, but like just holds it in her other hand. She goes to get the sweatband. This is a really good idea because it makes it feel important. Because today, you guys, like this is not just any other game, and basically everything that Diego was saying about just be casual, she was saying the exact opposite.
Nice. What's Diego's reaction?
So Diego, like he looks like his eyes kind of open because he's got his gym bag zipped open and he's reaching into it and he's got something in his hand, and she does this presentation, and the old sweatband that I had that I was gonna wear to the game to like as makeup to her, I drop it back into my bag and I zip it shut fast before she can, like, just as she's turning to hand me one. And so I'm like, thanks. Yeah, this is really great. This is really great, Kim. Yeah, thanks. It's really
Kim,
really thoughtful of you.
Kim, were you happy with those responses? Oh, I can't. I think you're muted.
Sorry, I'm using hardware and confused. I was kind of happy. I could have been happier with Nadine's response, but I was happy with the other two responses. Nadine seemed distracted. Like she was like, "This isn't practicing. This isn't really helping us."
That sounds good to me. So take a spirit.
Okay.
Because I believe that was splashing your hard-earned cash dollars.
That's kind of me trying to do two things.
Cool. All right. So yeah. Is there anything else people want to see before the match starts?
Oh yeah, I totally want the thing where me and Clive almost get into a fight like before the match even starts. Like whatever,
Yeah.
like we run into each other in the hall or something like that, and it's like the thing where the boxers stare each other down before the boxing match, right?
Totally. Yeah. I think this is like a thing where the whole team is like going to the area where you wait to come out when you're called for the match to start, and you sort of like encounter their team, except Diego is at the front leading the way and Clive is leading the way for Cayuga, and so you just like turn around the corner and you two come face to face, and like there's a moment where Clive sort of like there's like a moment of confusion on his face, and then there's a moment of like, oh, it's you.
Yeah, and I say oh, Clive, they let you walk in front so you won't get lost. That's really nice of them. And I like whoever is behind Clive, I say, oh, and like it's probably Tani. And isn't who's in love with Tani?
Rajiv.
Yes, that's you. So I'm gonna complicate that by like I'm gonna sass Tani, and I'm best friends with you, right? And I'm like, Tani, you are a good friend to you're a good friend to let him walk in front like that, when it should be you that's out in front.
Clive says, "Get out of my way, Alvarez."
And I kind of go and I'm like, I do one of these, and I'm like, well, maybe we should walk out together. Oh, wait, sorry, your head won't fit through the door if it's both of us at the same time.
And then I think like Tani like looks over Clive's shoulder at Rajiv and is like, "Can you do something about this, please?"
So I sort of like I come over and like I put my arm on top of Diego and I go, "Oh, Diego, this kidder, save it for the courts."
And I like press my hand to my chest and give my most like disingenuous like, what, me? I wasn't doing anything. Look, you know, and I make a very like sweeping after you, sir gesture. To indicate that they should go ahead.
And I think like Clive, like as he passes by, like gets all up in your face, but he keeps going. And then like Tani gives Rajiv a look like, "Thank you." And then
I throw my arm around Rajiv's shoulders, and I kind of and I turn to him and I say, "I think I'm in his head."
Well, your head is somewhere, I'll say. It's in something.
Turner gives a wave to Nadine and Kim and is like, "Good luck! You guys are going to do great!"
I point at Tone and I say, "No matter what, after party, karaoke, right?"
Of course!
Yeah!
And then he like steps forward and he's like, "Donna's taking this really seriously, but I'm sure we're all going to have fun.
She's invited too."
There's not going to be any hard feelings, right?"
No, of course not.
Smash cut to Nadine's face, just like nothing.
Yeah, and then I think like there's a really long shot of like Donna staring at Nadine, Nadine staring at Donna, Donna staring at Nadine, and then like eventually Tona's like, "Donna."
I turned to Tona. See, exactly. No hard feelings.
So last thing before the match starts, is that of course before you go out, the captain has to say something to the team. Rousing speech or whatever Nadine wants to do.
Yeah, I think like she waits for it to get quiet and then like probably has to like give Diego a few stern looks because he of course like keeps talking. And then it's just like very, very serious, very focused. It's like I said in the locker room, everyone, this is the most important game of the entire year, and you need to play your hardest. We've been practicing all year for this. All your family is going to be watching, and this game matters like none of the other ones did, and we have to win, so we're going to win. Do you understand me? Diego. You muted Jim.
If we win, we'll go on to the championships, and won't that be more important than this?
I don't know. Is that how things work? I thought this was the end.
If you win this, you go into the national championships for the first time ever.
Okay.
If you lose, this is your last game ever.
Gotcha. You're right, technically. But it doesn't.
That's all I wanted
matter.
to know.
It doesn't matter if we lose today because we're never going to see the national championships. Is everyone completely. Everyone just take a breath with me, okay? Ready?
Yeah, and like when
Okay.
I blow my breath out, I'm thinking my dad's gonna kill me.
Whatever thought that was, Rajiv, stop. The game is
Rajiv
the
just
only
nods.
thing that matters right now.
Take a spirit for that, because I think that's issuing an order you believe is good for a team, and you got the reaction you wanted.
Win.
I think
Can I-
for Rajiv, like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Okay. I was going to say, can I have a mechanical reaction to that and flip my make him laugh card, as that's something that I just can't laugh at. I'm taking this very seriously now.
Totally. Show us how you're taking it really seriously, and then you can flip.
Usually Kim is all smiles even after a speech like that, and half the time Kim starts laughing before the speech is even done. But Kim really believes in what Nadine is doing and wants to support her as her sister, and knows this is really important to her. So Kim's going to play this as straight as she can, even though it's tougher to play anything straight.
Nice. So flip that and take a spirit. Does anyone else want to do anything last minute before the match begins?
Yeah, I think when Nadine said nothing else matters, like no matter what, I think Rajiv kept seeing Tani in his mind, and was like, no, there's something else that matters, and so I think Rajiv will want to make a really bad decision and try to talk to Tani, like right before the game. Like suddenly he can't wait until after. Like he's convinced himself, I just have to talk to her. I just have to get this out of my system.
Great. That's amazing. So that's definitely a result to tell them how you feel. So take a spirit and flip your card.
Ooh, oh my god.
It's from 383B. So you sneak out of the entry area like just before the match is about to begin, and like, open the door on the Cayuga team, and they just stare at you.
Oh yeah, I think this is definitely like when you spill your feelings at a terrible moment.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is.
So Tani kind of, I imagine she, like, you kind of lock eyes with her, and she comes out into the corridor with you.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "The match is about to start, Rajiv."
Yeah, and we've always just been childhood friends, and then it just comes out like I just blurted at the worst possible moment. Like I'm kind of like half shouting, where I'm like, "I've always loved you, god damn it!" And then like before she can say anything, Rajiv is like, "You don't need to say anything. I just wanted to tell you, bye." Like, and then he does that awkward walk again. Except
Right.
he falls over halfway, and then he gets back up, and then he continues walking.
Good. So yeah, and Tani just like watches you go with this stunned look on her face. Does your heart feel lighter, fuller, or more free? Or does it feel heavy, choked, or conflicted?
Ooh, I feel like in that moment Rajiv like hit this point where, because he was so filled with his love for Tani, but like in that moment when he said it, he realized he was okay with being in love with her and not necessarily it going anywhere. Like he just wanted to say it. Like that was the most important thing. It wasn't important if Tani felt the same way. So his heart lightens up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like that slow-mo walk back towards, the locker room, and it's like a low angle, and then the flowers come out of his chest. Right. So I think he definitely
That's
feels
cute.
lighter.
All right, take a spirit, and
Ooh.
this trait goes away. In the longer game, you'd pick a new trait to replace it, but for now, blank.
Cool. I
Okay.
love these mechanics. They're so much fun.
And I want to do one thing before the match starts too,
Totally.
which is I'm gonna kind of like while we're warming up, like whenever the rotation brings me around next to Kim, right? I'm gonna say, I heard you talking about karaoke.
Yeah, I thought it would be best if we had an after party. Like, if we win, we're gonna have a team party. But no matter what, I think we should still be friends with our friends from the other side.
But karaoke, like I mean, we used to do karaoke after every match. I mean,
Yeah,
back then.
like you didn't have fun back then.
I did, yeah. No, I mean, did you like? Were you thinking all of us or what?
I was thinking everyone who'd want to come. I know Tona will be there, and I was gonna try to wingman him a little bit if Dana shows up.
And I chuckle, and I say, well, I think Rajiv and I totally want to go.
Maybe this isn't the after party. Maybe this is just the party.
And I say, maybe it is. And like, and if we're really going to treat this game like it doesn't matter, then we got to have that party whether we win or lose.
What do you mean treat this game like it doesn't matter?
I mean, like, it's important, but it's not like, it's not like our lives.
Kim gets a look on her face that is the most serious that anyone has ever seen her look. It is comically serious. It is like someone is sick. Like it is like evidence of illness, not like mental illness, but like if someone is sneezing.
And like I raise an eyebrow and I say, so karaoke?
Kim holds up her phone and it's got reservations for 10 and clicks the accept button, but still looks deadly serious.
So you hold the phone up. So is that just metafictionally? Is that you saying yes?
That's me saying yes to karaoke, but also but also me being very, very serious about the game.
Okay, so but when I promise to go on a date, attend an event, or share a sweetheart milkshake with someone, set a date, time, or place. I take a spirit if I set a date, time, or place.
Yeah.
Yeah, take one.
Okay. All right. So and I feel like my telling Kim how much I want to go to karaoke with her has to happen like right in front of Amy.
Oh, Amy's phone goes off, as does everyone else's phone on both teams,
okay, yeah,
because they were all set up on the invite list.
Yeah, okay, there we go. Yeah, everybody gets their Eventbrite, whatever it is, things. Okay.
Yeah, and like Amy actually like steps forward and is like, "You're going out now."
Yeah, it's karaoke. I love karaoke.
No, I mean, and then you hear Waitara volleyball team. And then you get called out into the arena, and it's just a startling change from inside. Inside it's like dark, it's small. Out there it's huge, it's bright, it's lit up. There's people from the local TV. There's even a couple of like scouts who are here. There's surprisingly large crowd has shown up. Cayuga has a massive cheering section. They're here every year. They win every year. Waitara has done a pretty good job considering there are some people there just to look at Diego, but most people are there to cheer you on.
I
can't help but think that Rajiv's dad's fan club is there in the stands too.
Oh, yeah, and he's like signing stuff. He's in his element. He loves this.
Yeah, and there are these like older auntie ladies who are like, "Oh, Mr. Patel, your son is so handsome, just like you."
Yeah, and he's like, "Yes, He's going to continue everything that I blah 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 blah.
Can I
And
bring
and
something up
this
real fast?
Playbook
Yeah.
legacy.
So Clive
Yeah.
got invited. I invited everyone on both teams, and Clive is invited.
oh good.
How does Clive look at his phone?
I think like we see like the other team, like they're kind of like I don't think they've seen it yet. I think their focus is
Okay.
entirely on what's coming out. He's not going to see that till halftime.
Okay, Tona saw it.
Oh yeah, ages ago. Okay, cool. Let's take a 5-minute break till 35 past, and then we are going to jump into the match. So see you 35 past. Probably when Jim gets back, but for now, if you want to head over to Roll20, we will do card things. Cool. All right, so we're in Roll20. So the way that matches work in this game is they are a series of mini games. And the mini games kind of are different. What's the best way of phrasing it? Like thematic segments of the game. So the first mini game is always the opener, which is just seeing what everybody is about, their vibe, their mood. And then the 3 other games are head-to-head, which is a direct face-off between 2 players, a risky play, which is where one team pulls out a daring maneuver, and deadlock, which is about withstanding the pressure of the other team and seeing who cracks first. So each of these games involves cards. So we're going to sort the card stuff out first, and then we will go into the match and the games. So on Roll20, you should see one deck sort of floating there called the Spirit deck. So the first thing we're going to do, draw cards equal to the number of spirit you currently have from the Spirit deck. And then reduce your spirit down to 0. But I'll do that part when everyone has drawn.
Mechanically, how do we do that? Do we double click? Do we?
I found the easiest way is to
Deal?
go
What is
deal. Yeah, deal, and then write the number, and then put yourself in there.
Okay. Oh, got it. Deal cards to turn order items, or just deal?
Should just be deal, and then you enter the number of cards, and where it says select some options, you pick yourself.
Got it.
Oh, how many do we draw now? Sorry.
The number equal to the amount of spirit you have. So you've got 3
Oh.
spirits, so you draw
Okay.
3.
Okay, got it. Ooh, doo, doo. Okay. Just deal. 2. 3 cards, 2. Okay.
Cool. So I will hide that deck now if everybody has got their spirit cards, and we'll go to the regular deck, the match deck. So
Ooh.
everyone draw 4 cards from the match deck.
Wow, this is so cool.
Oh, ran out of cards. That's all right. I should be able to just. That's probably because I copied it from an old game. I'll just shuffle it. Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna recall that and shuffle it because it's being weird. All right, let's try that again with the match deck. Sorry.
How many do we pull again? Sorry.
4.
4. Okay.
You notice that I have cards as well. That is because I am playing Waitara. Sorry, you're playing Waitara. I am playing Cayuga, rather.
Cool,
That's
cool.
I'm playing the whole of Cayuga, and you are each individually playing your own characters. So a card, if you take a look at it, is composed of 3 bits. Firstly, it has a number. That number is the card's value. So you'll see that all the spirit ones are higher than all the regular match deck ones. After the number is the suit. So either prowess, pressure, passion, or team play. I mean, 3 out of 4 ain't bad. And then beneath that, you will see 2 questions. So a headway question and a setback question. A headway question is the question that you use when you are successful at doing something and advancing the position of your team. And the setback question will be the question that you use where you're unsuccessful and kind of not able to help your team or assist your team. So that's the cards. Unfortunately, that I could find, there's no way to combine these 2 different like piles of cards into one. So let's just agree not to look too closely at which of these 2 piles we are playing our cards from. I'll figure out a better way at some point, but for now, I think that's okay. All right, so I'm going to share with you the document that contains the games. So if you want to go to this document there, unfortunately, StreamYard doesn't do the links, so you have to kind of copy and paste it into. Cool. So today, because we're playing a one-shot, our game is just going to be best of 3, which means we'll play 3 games, and we'll see. We'll play 3 games regardless, but the team that wins 2 out of 3 games will be the overall winner. And the first game is always the opener. So let's start with that. So the opener is kind of about the first few minutes of the game and the feel and the vibe of everybody. So a whistle, the match begins. Who will be the first to take the upper hand? So the way the opener works, it's a really simple game. Each person, including me for Cayuga, is going to take a turn to answer the following questions. You don't have to literally answer each one. It's just like give the vibe of them. And then place a card face down. They should be face down when you drag them out. And then at the end, place your card under your name on the Roll20, and then at the end, we'll flip all the cards, and the team that played the highest card wins the opener. So very simple for this one. And I am going to start. So the whistle blows, the match begins. Kaguya is the first team to serve. And Dana is the first person to serve. And I think her attitude, I think she's really the centerpin of the Cayuga team. She's the one holding them together at this stage. They may have different personal feelings towards different people on the team, but they listen to her. And so when she jumps into a serve and spikes the ball across the net, in that moment, the entire Cayuga team puts aside what they're thinking and starts focusing their attention on the game. And you can see that they're used to moving as one unit. They are instinctively responding to each other. When the ball comes over the net, it's almost like they don't even have to use their full concentration to get into the flow of the game and send it back over. You can see that they have they feel confident, but they've also got a lot at stake, because losing to this school that has been a nothing for so many years would look very bad for them. So I'm going to play a card for Cayuga. All right, let's just go across the character keeper. So Diego.
Do I do any narration, or am I just putting a card down?
So you will see in the opener, on each person takes a turn, and during a turn, answer the following questions. So you see those questions there. You don't have to literally answer them, but those questions should direct the narration you give us about, Diego's attitude in the first few minutes of the game. And you can jump in and give us his internal thoughts as well.
Yeah. So we've done our warm-ups and stuff like that, and I'm there, center, middle of the net, ready to be whatever, the spiker or whatever it is, the guy that's right on the net. And, I've got my hands down on my knees, and I come up and I realize that there's a little bit of silver on my knee, and I look down and I kind of reach up and I realize that the brand new headbands are starting to run a little bit, and I kind of do this and I look at it and I laugh, total, carefree, infectious. This is it's there's all this lights and people and everything, but just dumb shit like this is still as long as I can notice stuff like this, then it's, then I'm going to be okay. And I look over to, Raj, to Rajiv, and I wink at him and I say, just pretend we're on the beach.
We're on the beach.
Because I feel like the two of us are an unbeatable two-person beach volleyball team. And so when I play, I'm basically playing 2-on-2 with Rajiv and whatever. And there's a team around us and stuff. And if the ball goes over there, I don't worry about it. But I play to play with Rajiv. That's why I'm on the team, is to play with my friend. And I'm more I don't care how this goes, except that I know that it's super important to Rajiv. So I'm looking more at him than I am at every opportunity I get to say we got this, I got your back, I'll dig it out if you miss it, is kind of what I'm doing. And so I'm going to go ahead and I think this is this is the part that I'm going to play right there.
Cool, awesome. So yeah,
cool.
Just pop it under your name. Awesome. Yeah. After that, I actually really want to jump around and hear Nadine. Can we go to Nadine next?
Yeah, I think she's been just silent on the way in. Probably just every time I think when Diego starts laughing, she's literally snaps her fingers head in the game. Let's see, I've got some questions here. And then it's right back to the other side of the net, sizing up the other team, especially their captain Zadana, because I feel like she's got it, and she I can see when it starts the team kind of turning in and focusing on itself in a way that ours isn't. So just trying to kind of corral everyone, but it's absolutely the wrong thing to be doing. Just let them, we've been practicing all this time, just let them do what they know how to do.
Nice. So play a card face down under your name. I'll space this out a bit better. If Roll20 would let me, I would. Did that work? I can't. Sometimes you need to refresh it. Yep, cool. It's over here. Awesome. All right. What's going on with Rajiv?
I feel like what is not going on with Rajiv? So, there's so much going on with Rajiv. So I'm looking at the questions. So just a quick mechanic question. Do we only earn spirit like outside of the match? Like we can't earn spirit in the middle of it?
So you can earn spirit during like breaks in the match, but not when we're right in the middle of executing a game. So between the games, you can earn spirit.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So I'm looking at the opener. I feel like Rajiv is trying to like keep the beach in mind, like the last time they were there together, and Rajiv starts to realize like that's the only time he really enjoys playing volleyball is when his dad isn't around, there's no team, it's just him and his best friend. So he's like, okay, this is a good idea. I'm just gonna focus on the beach. But then he also keeps seeing like every time he's almost focused, like he's trying to get into the zone, he sees Tani on the other side of the net, and he just starts to crack a little bit, or he sees his dad in the stand. So he's like sort of wavering back and forth, trying to stay focused, trying to stay on that beach. So that's where he is right now. And I will draw a card. Okay, I'm gonna try to figure this out. Okay, so I open it up.
So you should just be able to drag the card that you want to play onto the Roll 20 area.
Okay, and it doesn't matter where we pull from, either the spirit deck or the match deck. Is that right?
It just depends on what card so you don't need to draw a card. Take a card from your hand that's already in your hand and play it.
Okay. So anyway.
Yeah, and so you should just be able to drag it out from your hand onto the Roll 20, whatever card that it is you want to play.
Okay. Where did it go? Oh, there it is.
Cool. Yeah, I put it under your name.
Okay.
Awesome.
Cool. Thank you.
And last but not least, Kim.
So Kim is very serious now, and Kim is not good at being very serious. So Kim is looking across the net and a little bit to the left where Tona is, and Tona looks pumped. Tona is going to show off in front of Dana, and Tona is the right side hitter, and Kim is thinking about eating Tona's spikes in just a moment. And Kim looks at Rajiv, and Rajiv looks more serious than Rajiv has ever looked before. And Kim looks back at Nadine, and Nadine looks like she's manifesting herself to be greater than her sister. And Kim looks back at Diego, and Diego looks cooler than Kim feels like she could ever be. And Kim starts sweating. And a little bit of silver rolls down Kim's forehead and off the tip of her nose.
Nice. So play a card. All right. So now everybody flip your card by right-clicking on it and pressing flip card.
So I can't actually right-click on my computer and command-click.
No worries. I have flipped it. So we have a three-way tie on the sevens here. So we go to the tiebreaker, which is the first time I have ever gone to the tiebreaker. So this is what we are going to do. We're going to shuffle. I'm going to turn all these cards face down again. Now, Cayuga, Diego, and Nadine are going to narrate their tactics during the opening of this game, and then pull a card at random out of this mess. And we will see who emerges the victor. So I'm gonna start with Cayuga. And I think we said that Kim is the middle blocker, although it does rotate. I think that they've noticed that Kim is the person who's not in the zone right now, right? And so they are essentially trying to power through Kim to essentially shatter like Kim's ability to make these blocks by like sending their spikes either over or like through the block. So I think like you sort of get like almost like face to face with Clive as he like smashes the ball over the net, and you know his eyes are on Diego, but this ball is coming right past Kim. Diego.
Yes. So okay. So is this like a shot by shot thing, or am I just kind of describing more like how I'm coming at the game?
Hey, let's do a shot by shot thing. I haven't tried that before. I haven't done the tiebreaker before. A shot by shot could be fun.
So if like they go up to like slam it right at Kim, that's a thing where like I am up off the ground, like, you know, hand out like this, and this is going to be that thing where like we are both wailing on the ball as hard as we can, and like boom, our hands come together and the ball like just stops there for a second. And I think we're going to see like, and it's going to like dribble down and hit the top of the net, and no one has any idea which side it's going to fall over on. And like, and I'm like right in his face. Like, I'm sure like a little of his sweat gets across my forehead, and a little spit like gets on his lip from where we're, you know.
Oh my god, I love that detail. Yeah. So draw a card at random from this mess and pop it under your name there.
I'm gonna take this one right here.
And Nadine, how are you reacting? You don't know which side this ball is gonna fall down onto.
I mean, I'm in the back, so like fate. But I think my overall strategy, since I'm serving, is that like I know like they have really good teamwork, so I'm trying not to give them the chance to be able to utilize that. And just like serving as hard as I can, essentially.
Okay, cool. So draw a card from the mess. And I'm gonna flip these. All right, Nadine. So it seems like what happens.
My captain.
Is the ball does indeed like roll. I think the ball does roll back onto the Cayuga side of the net, and like Tani has to like jump onto the ground to recover it before it slams onto the court surface. And as it bounces up in the air, I think like Tani is ordinarily the setter, so Dana has to like step in to set the ball, and then Toma is going to smash it over the net. And let's see what Nadine does. So you answer the headway question on this card. How do you recklessly go all out to make an impact?
I don't know if I can actually do this, but the server is supposed to kind of like stay in the back.
No, you can, as soon as the ball goes into play and the play starts, you can go wherever you want.
Okay. So yeah, I think I like See, Diego's kind of like just landing, probably, from his jump. And I basically just like put myself in front of him and push it back over the net.
So
And then I have to like run back to where I'm actually supposed to be.
So Diego is still coming down from the jump, and wouldn't be able to block this ball. And Nadine basically like recklessly sort of jumps in front of Diego, and just like hands up, the ball hits your hands, and nobody on the other side is prepared for that. So it just sort of like slams down onto the court in the Cayuga side. And the opening game goes to Waitara. So it is now 1-0.
Oh yeah, and I totally get up and I run a thumb across my finger and then do one of those to Clive there.
And Clive just like shakes his head as he's like walking into the back of the court. And so that's the end of the first game, which means like you guys can chat or whatever you want to do before we start the next game in between points, as before Nadine sets up for the next serve.
I'm like, Nadine, that was amazing.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I think like Rajiv is so overwhelmed and still on a high from all of these confusing feelings. He like goes up to Nadine and like puts his arms around her and says, "You did so good. You did really good," and like holding her.
And she's just like, "What is this? Why are you touching me?" Sort of thing.
Yeah, come on, we can do this. We can keep it up. Let's go.
Okay, less hugging, more concentrating. Like,
look at
everyone.
him. No,
everyone is.
No, come on, come here.
What?
Come here. Look at him. Like it looks like it. His. I think like he's gonna get a nosebleed just staring at me. Look at him. Okay, so now we're not gonna say anything important, but just like I'm gonna look up at him and then we're all gonna laugh. Okay.
We need to be focusing on the game, you guys.
And Rajiv was like, ha, ha, ha.
Yeah, and like Clive actually starts walking across the court towards you.
Yeah.
And then like Toma kind of like grabs his arm and looks at him and is like, "What are you doing?" And Clive is like, and grudgingly like stomps back over to their side of the court.
Yeah.
All right. So the next game, do we want to do a deadlock? Which team will withstand the other team's pressure, and which team will crack first? Or do we want to do a risky play? Do you guys want to attempt a daring maneuver?
What do you think, Captain?
Probably a risky play, because like right now we're winning. It's not a tie yet. If they win the next one, we can do a double then. But
all right, a risky play. So with a risky play, somebody in your team has to propose a risky play. So let's go down to the risky play game, and I will explain how it works, and then we will do it. So somebody on your team is going to propose a risky play and then choose a suit on which the risky play will be based. They then explain the risky plan and why it's so important their team does it. And then everyone else on the team states how they feel about it and whether they are in or out. And if the majority are in, including the person who proposed the play, then the play goes ahead. And the way it works is that I will play one card of the suit that is decided on. And then everyone else will say, or everyone on the Waitara team will say how they are contributing to or failing to contribute to the plan, and play one card as well. All of the face down. All of the Waitara cards will be shuffled together, and one will be drawn at random, and compared to the one card that Kaguya played. And the team with the higher card is the winner. So let's just take it one thing at a time. Firstly, who has a plan for a risky play that's going to put Waitara way ahead? Who would like to propose it?
I feel like Rajiv might say something like, why don't you use whatever budding romance you have with Clive and make it useful? Like, why don't you, like, distract him? So, like, I'm thinking the risky play is to have, like, Diego go, like really draw Clive on purpose, and then someone else is going to try to, like, but it's going to take skill. So I'm suggesting prowess. Am I allowed to say, like, how high my card is, or is that, like, not?
No, you're not really allowed to, but by the fact that you're suggesting prowess, everyone kind of gets the idea.
Right. So just don't give the exact number. Okay.
Yeah. So you gather the team round and you propose this strategy.
Right. And I tell Diego, remember, like, that time, like, and I give the specific game that we had on the beach where you did a similar move.
So how does everyone react to this? Well, let's start with Diego.
He says the budding romance thing, and I, like, make that "what, me" gesture again. And then I, like, make a little kissy face at him. And I say, I am your Huckleberry.
That's awesome. How does Kim react to this idea?
Kim doesn't really understand it. I don't really get all these tactics. If you guys think that this is what we should do, then we can do it, and I'll go along with it. I know a lot is riding on this, so don't let me hold you back, okay?
Oh, how does Nadine react?
I think she looks at Rajiv and then at Diego and just, like, gives him, like, this look, and then very considering, like, calculating across the net to what's his face?
Clive,
and then just kind of nods and says, "So stupid, it just might work."
Yes, it's true.
Yes.
And Diego is stupid enough to make this work. I promise, as his best friend.
So I'm here to tell you that "so stupid it might work" is actually my full middle name.
It's not what you put on your sign-up form.
Yeah, well.
All right. So now we go into the mechanical part of this, which starts with my turn. And so the highest prowess card is going to win this mini game and see whether this risky play works or not. Unfortunately for you, it's like Cayuga. This is not a unexpected tactic that you have tried to use here. It's very obvious to them that Clive is getting very riled up. And while you're having this discussion, like, we kind of see briefly over on the other side of the field that the entire team is kind of gathered around Clive, and they're like, you know, just like, they're like, well, the best way to show him is to beat him.
Yeah, oh yeah. He's a dick. Why are you letting him bother you? Yeah, exactly.
So when they come back onto the court, Clive actually looks calmer than he did before the match started, and you get a feeling this is not going to be as easy as you thought. So the way this works now is that Each person gets a turn to say how they are contributing or failing to contribute to the plan, and play a card face down. We shuffle those cards together and draw one at random, and then compare it to this 8 prowess. So to win, you would need to play an 8 prowess or a 9 prowess, and have that be the card that is drawn out. But let's go in the reverse order last time. Let's start with Kim.
So, quick mechanical question. Do we have to play a prowess card if we want to play
No,
this?
if you want to dump a card, you can.
But it only counts if we play prowess.
Correct.
Got it. Okay.
So I flip it now?
No, do not flip it, as we're going to be choosing one at random. But do explain how Kim contributes or fails to contribute to this plan.
Okay, Kim is taking everyone else's opinion in this situation very seriously and is entirely transparently eyeing Clive. And Dana immediately picks up on this. There is absolutely no question in Dana's mind what the plan is, because Kim is giving everything away.
That is so good. And Dana just looks at Kim and rolls her eyes. And gestures to Clive, and Clive is shakes his head. Rajiv.
So I think Rajiv sees that's happening with Kim, and then sort of steps in with his overly tall, long body to block people's vision. And I think it's that moment in anime where it's kind of slow motion. You can see each frame. And so I think Rajiv is trying to do a move that his father did way back, as a means of distracting, trying to pretend that Rajiv is the one who's going to go in when it's really going to be Diego. It's a fake out. So that's how I'm going to, because Diego and I we've done fake outs within fake outs within fake outs together, so we know how to do that. So okay, I'm gonna get my card. Okay. All right. And I'll put it underneath. There we go.
There seems to have been 2 cards already there. I'm not sure which one.
Ooh.
That you played. Okay, that's fine. You can leave it. That's okay. It's your turn anyway now. Nadine.
Yeah. So I think she's just letting this happen, whereas usually she'd try to quash it, and now she isn't. And there's definitely we get this shot of Dana on the other side, just giving her this this knowing sort of look, and then she's trying to straighten her face out so she doesn't give anything away.
Cool. And Diego.
Yeah, and we're coming back on, and I stop and stand in front of Nadine, and she's probably just staring at me what the hell are you doing? And I nod a couple of times, and I hold my hands up, and then I go like this, and I walk over, and I across the net from Clive, I go, and I sigh and look back at Nadine again, and then I look back at Clive and I say, look, I'm really sorry, man. I should not be giving you... Look back at Nadine again. I should not be giving you a hard time like I have been. It's super immature of me. And I'm really sorry, okay?
Play a card. All right, so I'm going to mix these together, and then our captain, Sarah, would you like to do the honor of drawing one at random for your team?
Oh, the pressure. Sure.
Is it the this one at the top? Cool.
Yep.
Oh.
Wow.
All right. So that is a failure. So this plays in perfectly because the failure question is what move does your opponent predict? And I feel like we covered off that pretty well. So I think how this happens, how does your body seem to move by itself, is that instead of increasing the attention on the other side, your plan is so transparent and like, pig-headed that it relaxes them. They become more calm, their motion becomes more fluid. They were stiff in the first set because they were so worried about the outcome of the match. And now they're in it. They're moving instinctually. They play the second set like a liquid. There is no way you guys can hold against them, especially since you're trying to concentrate on Clive rather than, mirroring their tactics. And so Cayuga take the second set, meaning that you play into the third set to see who will win this volleyball match. And as you are walking off the court, Dana turns to Nadine and says, hey, maybe you should think about playing volleyball. How does Nadine react to that?
We have one game left. And just like turns her back.
Nice. So it is one set each. This final set will determine the winner of this regional final. And it's a timeout. What is the discussion within the team?
He's just not that into me.
Look, we all know how to play volleyball. Not these like distractions. So let's go out there and do that.
Fair.
And I look at Diego and I say, or you could let your hair down.
Your mom is in the stands, dude. I don't want to.
Diego, you shouldn't be making jokes about people's moms. This is an extremely serious game, and we should all be taking it very seriously.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. You're right. You're right.
Has an alien replaced Kim that I'm not aware of?
Kim, are you going out of your way to show how serious you are?
I am definitely doing that. And they've given me the answer that I'm afraid of.
Oh god. So you're gonna take a condition. So if you drop down right at the bottom, you'll see conditions, which have an A and a B side as well.
Okay.
Ignore injured. It is not finished yet. But pick any other one to describe how Kim is feeling.
I'm gonna look at insecure.
All right.
Yeah, I like insecure.
Cool. But you still get a spirit.
Cool.
Funnily enough, because you would normally get XP, and so since I'm replacing them, so draw maybe. I would just deal you one card from the spirit deck for that.
Okay.
Does anyone else want to say anything in halftime before we go on to the final set?
Yeah. I'm gonna I'm gonna turn towards the stands. And I'm gonna like wave to Mr. Patel and like do this, like wave him down.
Oh, nice. So yeah, he like pushes past the tightly packed in seats, and then the aunties are like, oh, as he like walks past them, well, let's get in contact. And then he makes his way down the steps.
Uh, um, uh, Mr. Patel, I know you've been in way worse situations than we find ourselves in here. What's your advice, sir?
Mr. Patel looks at Nadine and then gives his advice with a sense of like, finally they're listening to the right person kind of a feeling. And he says, well, their offense is very strong, but their weakness is their defense, especially on the left side. Blah, 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 technical volleyball things. And like, he goes on a bit of a tangent. And then he says, understood, everyone. And he looks at Nadine.
Yeah, and actually, I think I'll sort of step in a little bit. Like I see that he's trying to show off. And so I say, like I'm trying to appease him. I say, you mean like when you were up against, and I named the exact fight, the exact year, his exact move, and how it worked. Right.
Oh yeah, 1968 Olympics against the Soviet Union. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yes.
And like,
yeah.
and it's that anime moment where you can see it in the background, like it's playing out and everything.
Black and white.
Yeah. And I'm like, do you mean that, Dad?
That was a match that will be remembered in history. You could use to learn from it. That is what I mean.
I go, all right, Dad. But it's 2019. I'm sure Nadine knows how to give it her own spin, right?
I mean, Nadine was like eating that up, right? It's like...
And I'm like, no, Nadine, be your own person.
Oh,
and then she
so
kind of
good.
like condenses it and like reissues these orders. That is basically like, do that exact same thing, guys.
And I'm like, you're the best, Mr. Patel. And then I like stand up on a chair and I'm like, 3-time Olympic gold medalist, ladies and gentlemen. What's his first name?
Rohan.
Rohan Patel, everybody! Woo! Like get the crowd cheering, like yeah.
And he's having a day, and he like turns to Rajiv and sort of takes him aside for a moment, and he says, Rajiv, I've been thinking that you should follow in my footsteps when school is finished.
Ooh. I think like Rajiv is shaken by the play not working out earlier. Like normally Rajiv would like push back, but I think I'm going to do something in order to make my dad proud. And Rajiv. Anyway, and I'll actually like agree to it. I say, yeah, Dad, I know the plan. Yeah, I'll follow it. Don't worry.
Did I just step in to keep you going there? Because you were losing
Oh, yeah. That's right. So can you
Yeah.
activate both at the same time? Is that how it works? Or do we stick to one?
Well, the question is, do you feel more sure of your future by telling your father that you would follow, or less sure?
Let's see. Yeah, I feel like... Gosh, poor Rajiv. I'm thinking in this moment, yeah, like, because he's so shaken, so I think he feels more sure. Like, there's a part of him that's kind of like, in this moment, hopefully it'll change by the end of the match, where he's sort of given up and he's like, maybe I should just stop resisting and be more sure. about my future, be a good Asian son, and do what he says.
All right. So you would get 2 spirit for that. So I will deal you 2 spirit cards.
And was my Colin Mr. Patel down from the stands and then like standing on a chair and like having everybody cheer for him? Is that a reckless, aggressive, reckless, or taking things too far type of action you might do in the middle of a match?
Look, I'm gonna leave it up to you if you think it was.
I
Take a
feel
spirit.
it was like
All
like
right.
we could have totally got like in trouble for that. I feel like holding up the
Yeah.
match or something like that or whatever.
Mhm.
But and I feel like I totally got my way though. So
Yeah, I dealt you.
and it also could have completely backfired. Like he could have come down and just like totally chewed out Rajiv or like, you know, gave gave Nadine all kinds of like just like bad crap or something like that. But that actually worked out in a way that like could have totally blown up on us, I feel like.
So I've dealt you an extra spirit card.
Sweet.
Did anyone else want to do anything in the final timeout? Or do you want to go into the last set? Last set? Awesome. Alright, so the last game we're going to play is Deadlock. Now you are evenly matched. So, Deadlock, 2 teams are evenly matched. It's blow for blow. Who will shatter first? And I think, so I will be the challenger and describe the existing Deadlock. So this is the part where we see both teams in the zone, fully focused, and like, you know, matching each other. Cayuga scores, Waitara scores. Cayuga makes an amazing save, Waitara makes an amazing spike. Like, back and forth, and the score keeps climbing. And in volleyball, you have this thing where when you get to the end of the set, you have to win by, is it 2? Yeah, before you can finish the set. So, but it just doesn't happen. Neither team can pull that far ahead. So you're there at the end of the set. Somebody just needs to get 2 ahead to win this whole game. But it's just blow after blow after blow. So like the way that
36-35 or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's like going on so long that they like the auto lights turned off and they have to turn them back on again. Yeah, and so so the way that this game works is that myself on behalf of Cayuga and then each of you are going to take turns playing cards. Each person to play a card describes how the blow for blow deadlock continues by answering either the headway or setback question on the card they play. It's up to you. And this is going to continue until the total value of all the cards that we have played exceeds 15. And the team who plays the card that takes us over 15 shatters and loses the deadlock. And that player who played it describes how the deadlock breaks by answering the setback question on their card. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I'm going to play first for Cayuga. Let's see. What have I... Oh, I forgot to say this. Actually, we need to draw back up first. So if you have less than 4 cards from the match deck, deal yourself more cards until you're back up to 4. All right. What am I going to start with?
Oh, we ran out of cards. Should I shuffle?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead and shuffle. Thanks.
Okay. Deal 1 to me. Wait, so I'm just trying to understand the mini game. So we're trying to not go past the number, actually?
Correct. Like, trying to not exceed 15.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So the first couple of cards we play won't have too much. So like the low
cards are actually good here.
The low cards can be very useful here. The high cards can be, like, useful in particular circumstances. It kind of depends how you how it plays out. So in terms of you just drawing those spirit cards, they're not that useful. In a normally in a not a one shot, the matches will be longer, so it kind of makes more sense. But in this case, I'm gonna start with this card. It's a team play card. I'm gonna answer the question: Who helps you keep your cool as things are heating up going into the final round? And I think the answer to this question is, like, I think during the timeout, your phone buzzed Kim, and it was like Toma being like, "Oh my god, everyone's getting so worked up, like, but I can't wait for karaoke." And you know, you kind of like get the sense that like Toma is like grounding the Cayuga team, like keeping their spirits up as this is dragging on and on and on. Every time like they kind of like look down with like frustration as they can't push ahead, he like makes a stupid joke or does what Kim normally does, you know, or like points at something that's funny, or you know, hand someone a water bottle or something like that. So that's my first card. I would like to see Kim. If you want to take the first term for Waitara, so what you need to do is play a card and then explain, answer the headway or setback question and explain how the deadlock continues.
So flip. There we go. And I have to make it bigger. There.
I'll pop it over here so we can see our total is 8.
So that goes flashback. Who do I fear disappointing? There was a time when I was in middle school and I was playing with Diego, and we had a very similar situation where it was point for point and we went way overtime. And I'm afraid of disappointing Diego because back in middle school I was great. Like, I was somebody who could hold the team together, and now I'm not someone who could really hold the team together anymore. But I want to be who I was back then, and I want to be who I was back then to Diego.
For the 50th time this game. Oh, Kim. So, and what do we see of you in the present that shows that you were worried about this?
I'm playing like a really good middle schooler. Like, I'm playing like an ace middle schooler. Like if you saw a middle schooler playing like this, you'd be like, that kid has something good going for him. He's going to go into big things. But seeing me play like this, you're like, she's doing pretty good. She could be an ace middle schooler.
So I think maybe like Diego notices that like you're using a lot of the same moves that you used to use in middle school, like a lot of the same tactics, and your style has sort of you know, become increasingly similar to that as the game is going on.
Yeah, my moves are basic and they're obvious, but they're really well executed.
Nice. So I am up next, and I'm going to play. It's 4, so that brings our total to 12. And the question is, what secret emotion do you betray? Is the question that I'm going to answer. And I think like, after one particularly like long rally that just went on for a really long time, it ended with like Tani spiking the ball and Rajiv at the net, like blocking, you know, with like having to block with his really long arms, and you know, blocking the ball as it sort of like falls down onto the court in the Cayuga side. And like your face, Rajiv's face and Tani's face are like, yay far apart, and Tani just like looks at Rajiv as they're sort of like, it's like a slow-mo as they're falling back down to the ground, and you can see like the weight of the emotion on her face, that she's been trying to hold this in the entire game. And like it almost looks like she's going to like reach out and like actually grab your hand from where you both had your hands up like that. But she doesn't. She just lands on the ground and sort of like turns away a bit too slowly to go move back onto the court. Who would like to go next?
So wait, if I understand this, we're currently at how much? Sorry, for
12, I think.
12.
Is this about going? We don't want to go over 15.
Correct. 15 is
Right.
fine.
I will go next.
Oh, do you have exactly? Are we allowed to say that? Sorry.
I would like to go next.
Okay, go next. Go next. Go next, my friend. Go next.
I would like. We're at 12, right? I would like to go next. All right. And then I flip it over, right?
Yeah, flip it over, pop it on top, and
Oh, look at that! It's a 3.
answer one of these questions.
All right. Oh yeah. What fear from the past holds me back is like I am like I'm looking at, I think it's Kim. And I think back to how like I cost us, like the last year that we played together, I cost us the middle school championship. Because I got in a fight with a kid from the other team, right? But they decided that it was like, because I threw the first punch, they disqualified us, and we lost, and that was Kim's chant. Like, and like I'm like looking at her, and I'm like, you know, and I'm sure that like now Clive is like in my face trying to just get a rise out of me. And I'm like can't do it. And there's like a couple of times where like I could have gotten up there and just like spiked it hard right back at him, but I'm like I didn't want to risk like accidentally hitting him or him hitting me and that setting me off and stuff like that. And so I'm actually playing quite a bit more conservatively than I normally would. But that also means that I'm not like chasing bad balls just so that I can get the spike on him, right? So yeah, so I'm kind of like dialed back a bit. I'm actually playing volleyball.
That is glorious. All right, well, regardless of what I play, we all know how this is going to end. So I'm going to play this 1, which would have been good for any other number. And the setback question here is, why do you freeze at a crucial moment? And I think I actually think this is Donna. I think what happens is Waitara are like in the lead. They're the ones that are ahead. They just need you just need to score that 1 point. And again, it's like another long rally. Everyone is exhausted. This is going on for such a long time. And
I kind of love the idea that like every single one of these points, it's they get ahead, we dig it out.
Yeah.
They get ahead, like every single one, like we've never been ahead through this whole thing here.
Yeah, neat. So like this is the first time that you've been ahead. And it's shaken their team, right? Like it could actually happen. They could actually lose. And like as everyone is exhausted playing this point, I think like Dana's head is like caught up in that anxiety. Like, you know, she's been on this team since she's been at Cayuga. Year after year, they've won this final, and now she's captain, and this is the moment that she's meant to do this, but it just seems impossible. And she's so in her head that like she reacts just a moment too late to a ball, and like you can see her eyes are like almost shocked as it like bounces down on the court in front of her, and then there's like a silence, and then the ref calls it for Waitara, and the whole Cayuga team are just like silently in shock as the like crowd roars out that with a massive cheer for Waitara. And
we're totally hoisting Nadine up.
Nadine started crying.
Yes.
I want to see each person's reaction individually. So yeah, let's start with Nadine. Waitara has won this regional final for the first time ever. What do we see in this moment of Nadine?
I think at first it's a moment of like shock and like, oh my God, we did it. And then like as the team kind of rushes together, it's like hugging Kim. And like when she pulls away, just like tears down her face. It's like joy. It's like we did it. We did it. We did it. We did it.
Nice. What do we see of Kim?
During the match, Kim found where her moms are in the stands, and they're both still wearing their work outfits because they had to take half days. But they both have big signs cheering us on. And I grab Nadine and I turn her head and I point at her moms, and her moms both scream with renewed vigor and wave the signs in their hands.
And like when they bring the signs down, we see that our older sister is sitting like in between them.
Yeah, and she just like smiles at you, Nadine, just like beams at you very genuinely, and it's like the first time you've seen her kind of look that way.
Yeah, and like in the moment I don't even think if I can trust it. It's just like, yes, take it at face value.
What do we see of Diego?
Oh, like the other team, like they're there stunned. The other what's the other team? What is their Cayuga?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're stunned. And like I feel like Clive like just gives the ball like a hard soccer kick, and it does a one skip under the rope, and I just like bang, like I snag it, and then I hold it up, like kind of palm it in one hand, and then I point up at the stands to Mr. Patel, and I like flick it up and do a perfect serve, like right to him.
Neat. And Rajiv, what do we see?
I see my dad trying to, trying to get my attention, but I ignore him and I just walk straight to Tani. And so she's also quite tall, I feel like. And I just walk up to her, and then I because we're childhood best friends, and I just pull her close and I kiss the top of her head like I've always done so many times, but this time it feels different. And I just tell her, good game. And then I walk back to the team and put my arms around everybody.
Yeah, and like when you say good game, and like your hands kind of shake, she holds onto yours for just that, extra moment as you're going down the line, shaking each other's hands. So wrap up scenes. What do people want to see after the match? I really want to see Diego and Kim, so maybe we can start there. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I think I'm I think this is you know what, like So the boys and girls have we have separate locker rooms. It's a co-ed team, but we've got separate locker rooms. But I am like I've taken my shower and I've got a towel wrapped around my waist, and like I like squeegee the steam off of the mirror, and I smile, and as I start to comb my hair, I'm humming, and then I start to sing a pop song that was like popular when Kim and I were in middle school that I always just kind of sing in the locker room. And I would love it if she were in the mirror on the other side and kind of heard it coming through the wall.
She heard it coming through the wall, but now she's standing on a toilet singing into one of the vents.
Okay, yeah, totally. Okay. And like I just raised my voice, I raised my dubbed in rock star voice, right? And just this is like the little musical interlude there. So totally, yeah.
When Kim goes to pick up the next note,
And I'm
after
like,
she takes the deep breath, it cuts to the after party at karaoke.
yeah, and I'm totally singing into my hairbrush, right? Like it's a microphone. Yeah.
Oh, I love the idea that it cuts to karaoke and like it cuts to that same song being sung into the microphone, right? As both teams are there and everyone's chatting and talking and music is playing. And it's like a very busy, lively scene. What do we see while we're there?
Yeah, and like Rajiv says, "Let's hear it for future rock star Diego Alvarez." Woo!
Yeah, everyone cheers.
And I put on like one of the hardest like rock ballad songs, but I know Diego can totally kill it, no problem. Like it's Under Pressure with David Bowie or something, like and Queen.
Dean, what are you doing at this after party?
I think the first shot we get of her is she's talking to Donna, and like we get like the lights and probably whoever's the worst singer is singing right now, like a little too loudly, so we don't like hear any of their conversation.
Oh, that's totally me. I'm gonna just put it out there. He's gonna be like, like really like earnestly, level 1 Sims 4 like style of singing. So
yeah, and they're just having a conversation. It doesn't look like there's not a whole lot of like bad feeling, because like Nadine like gets like that moment where she froze up, and so I feel like she's saying that like I know like how it feels, and like you guys did really good in more reserved tones.
Yeah, and I think like Dana is like, so when you go to the nationals, here's what you need to know.
Yeah, like I take out my notebook and like start taking notes.
Any other last minute scenes that people want to see before we wrap up?
I think Rajiv gets home late after the karaoke session. Like, I think with Tani, like we were just hanging out. Like, there's something there, but Rajiv is in no rush to like figure out what it is. But he gets home and his dad is not happy. Like, about him being so late, and I think this is the moment when Rajiv really like snaps and tells his like I just want the scene where he tells his father no on certain terms that he's going to like live his own life.
Yeah, totally. Like I think your dad is like, you're on your way to being a pro volleyball player. You can't just go out and drink like that. You've got to be focused.
Yeah, and then Rajiv just like looks to the side, and normally he would just like agree, but he's like thinking about the beach, and he's thinking about Diego, and he says, "No, I'm just gonna. It doesn't matter, Dad. My heart's always gonna be in that beach with my best friend, and that's what I'm gonna play for. I'm gonna play for that. I'm not gonna play for you anymore."
Yeah, and I can imagine like you say this and then you just keep walking to like your bedroom and your dad just looks incredulously after you.
Beach? Like, what?
Yeah.
There is an entire subreddit devoted to shipping our two characters. That's
Yeah.
absolutely
That's for sure.
Yeah.
And then we get the ending credits. So over this, like, as we sort of follow Rajiv walking into his bedroom, it's like some really chill ukulele song that starts playing, and it's like really cute. And we get one shot of each person doing something like chill and relaxed. So let's start with Diego.
Yeah. I am in a tux, and I'm sitting at a like a banquet table. And I'm looking a little confused, but I'm clapping like golf clapping, and kind of camera sort of pans over to and it's like a bunch of like super like everyone else at the table but me is wearing glasses, right? Which is how we our anime shorthand that they're all way smarter than I am. And the camera pans over, and there is Amy, like someone is like handing Amy like an academic trophy of some kind or other, and I'm just like I have no idea. I clearly have no idea what's going on, right? But like I did go on the date with her, so
That's golden. Kim?
Where was your date?
It was at wherever, like.
Can I pitch something?
Yes, yeah, please.
All right, you guys went to the
it's
movies.
it's at your club. Yeah, where you're.
Oh no, I was going to pitch something entirely different.
Oh, okay. Sorry, that's what that was what I thought maybe you had in mind.
I was going to say I was trying to do something more group. I was going to say
Yes.
You went to the movies. So in the end credits, it starts with the shot on Diego, and then it pans over to the left at the movie theater. At the movie theater.
So I'm just going to say time out.
Sure.
This is very explicitly like her award ceremony where she got her academic award.
Oh, okay.
And that's why I look so baffled, is because it's a bunch of super smart people. And
I'm sorry. Thanks for turning that on me.
I'm like her gorgeous date, right?
The date to the award. Okay,
exactly,
got you.
Yeah.
So definitely wouldn't be at my restaurant. My restaurant's way too niche for that. All right, I could cut away from that idea. So the greater idea is it's like a still with the pen, because they always cut the animation budget for the end credits, and it's Nadine and Kim at a movie theater with the flickering light on their faces, and Kim looks really interested and is leaning forward, and Nadine looks a little embarrassed, and Kim is leaning forward because as it pans down, Tona and Dana are on their first date at the movies.
That's great. I love that. Rajiv.
I think Rajiv and Tani were supposed to be at the movies. But like when Rajiv was like on his way to go there, I think like he like takes a deep breath, and then he picks up the phone and he texts Tani and he says, "Do you want to go somewhere else together? I'd love to spend time with you." And then just like leave it at that. Like I think it'd be like, I'm not sure what Tani would respond, but he just looks kind of peaceful in that moment.
Cool. And Nadine.
I think in kind of a mirror image of the first scene, we were like having breakfast on like a very busy day. It's like a Sunday, and like everyone's still asleep, but like Nadine has gotten up early, like earlier even than Kim, and there's like a toast and not eggs but like cereal, and she's like kind of laid stuff out, and we just see like you coming downstairs, and then I guess they're both our moms now, just coming down and just sitting in like in the background of the shot, like over the jellies or whatever, we see the trophy that we won, and like our team photo on the wall.
Oh, that's so good. And that is such a great finishing moment for this series. So that is where our game finishes today. Thank you guys so very much.
I'm not sure why I'm